Now on BBC News, Google CEO Sundar Pichai talks to economics editor Faisal Islam about artificial intelligence and its impact on the future of jobs, the environment and truth. The interview.
This is a huge moment for Google. Already one of the biggest companies in the world, Google defines the way most of us use the internet.
Great to see you. Welcome to Google.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be here.
They're in the middle of an AI race, where the only way to win is to keep spending trillions of dollars.
This is exactly where those trillions of dollars are pouring into racks of supercomputers full of thousands of the world's most advanced AI superchips, probably the most important objects in the world economy right now.
These chips and the power and the land and the buildings, and we are back to a time when physically we need to build things and scale them up.
Right.
We've been invited to their California campus at the heart of a booming Silicon Valley to speak to one of the most powerful men in the world.
AI is the most profound technology humanity is ever working on. It has potential for extraordinary benefits, and we will have to work through societal disruptions.
But also to have a look under the hood, to try to find out if big tech can deliver on the hype.
There are moments these AI models fundamentally have a technology by which they're predicting what's next, and they are prone to errors.
And just maybe get a glimpse of the future.
How would you characterize what is happening in Silicon Valley right now?
Well, it's an extraordinary moment even by Silicon Valley standards. Every decade or so, you have this inflection points. You have a new technology. It was the personal computer at one point, the internet coming in the late 90s. Then it was mobile. Then it's been cloud, what we call as cloud. Now it's clearly the era of AI. And that's the excitement you probably felt around campus as well as in this whole region.
And can you give us a sense of the scale, the sheer amount of investment going in?
One way to think about the scale is what we are all investing in capital to build out the infrastructure that's needed for artificial intelligence. Maybe 4 years ago, Google was spending less than $30 billion per year. This year, that number is going to be over $90 billion. And if you collectively add what all the companies are doing, we have well over $1 trillion of investment going in building the infrastructure for this moment. And one way I think about it is in the next couple of years, we'll end up building what we probably built in the past 10 to 20 years. So hopefully,
just in a couple of years.
That's right. So that gives you the scale at which this is ramping up.
Now, you mentioned some of those phases of technological advancement that happened with much market excitement as well. And the obvious question, and it's around the whole of this country, around the whole of the world right now, is it a bubble?
You see real demand, and we are constrained in our ability to serve that demand. So, and given the potential of this technology, the excitement is very rational. It's also true when we go through these investment cycles, there are moments we overshoot, right, collectively as an industry. We can look back at the internet right now. There was clearly a lot of excess investment, but none of us would question whether the internet was profound or did it drive a lot of impact. It's fundamentally changed how we work digitally as a society. I expect AI to be the same. So I think it's both rational, and there are elements of irrationality through a moment like this. No company is going to be immune, including us. If you overinvest, we'll have to work through that phase. For many years, we have taken a deeply differentiated approach to how we have approached AI. So we are better positioned to take a long-term view and approach this moment.
$1 trillion is such a huge amount of money, it can be hard to grasp what they're spending it on. But this is the scale of investment from other giants like Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and ChatGPT inventor OpenAI. I'm on my way to a very noisy lab to get a snapshot of where all that money's going.
Now, this is the place where those cutting-edge chips are actually used. AI factories, specifically where the artificial intelligence is being created, which makes this one of the most important places in the world economy right now. And this is Armin Vadat of Google, and he runs this place. Armin, great to see you.
So nice to see you, Faisal. Thank you.
And like, what exactly is going on here?
You know, here we have our 7th generation Ironwood chip,
Right.
and we're about to launch
AI
it.
chip, basically.
7th generation AI chip, and we're about to launch it to the planet. Right? And this is the basis for all of our compute. So, for example, one of these is going to go into this tray along with 3 others, 4 per tray. Per rack, we have 64 of these, and 144 of these racks together make up one AI supercomputer for us.
Just give us a sense of how much computational power is in that little square block.
You know, it really is amazing. If you were to take everybody on this planet and ask them to multiply 2 numbers together every second, and to do that for an entire day, every second for an entire day, everyone on the planet, they still wouldn't be able to keep up with just one of these chips for 1 second. That's how much we pack into just one chip.
Powerful.
Indeed. This actually powers search today. If you see an AI result, AI overview, AI mode, this powers it. All of that is served to you, to all the users across the planet on these chips.
The whole point of the value and productivity kind of offer to companies that are buying all your goods and your services is to automate many human tasks, is it not?
Let me put it this way, right? I think people today are juggling many things, right? And people are overloaded. We've always had, back in the history, it could be a dishwasher coming to your home. I remember growing up, when we got our first refrigerator in the home, how much it radically changed my mom's life, right? And so you can view it as it automating some, but it freed her up to do other things, right?
Many people, many aspirational middle classes across the West are thinking, hang on a minute, it's affecting lawyers' jobs, it's affecting creative industries, it's affecting accounting jobs, it's affecting journalism too. And they're surprised by it. And they're wondering, do you know which jobs are going to be safer?
2 things. One is, first of all, look, I think with any, I said many years ago, AI is the most profound technology humanity is ever working on. And it has potential for extraordinary benefits. And we will have to work through societal disruptions. It'll end up creating new opportunities. As an example, I think anybody, just like YouTube has done, anybody will be able to create content. You could be a high school student, and a few years down, maybe envision a feature-length movie and make it, right? That's extraordinary. So it will create new opportunities. It will evolve and transition certain jobs, right? And people will need to adapt. And then there will be areas where it will impact some jobs. So as a society, I think we need to be having those conversations. And part of it is, how do you develop this technology responsibly and give society time to adapt as we absorb this technology? I think these are all very, very important and fair questions.
Parents don't know what to advise their kids anymore, just to ride out this AI wave. Give us some tips.
Based on what I see, I wouldn't change anything of how we've always thought. I think, I think there's going to be a wide variety of disciplines which will end up mattering. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a teacher, a doctor, all those professions will be around, but the people who will do well in each of those professions are people who learn how to use these tools.
Okay, so still CEOs are safe in their jobs.
I think what a CEO does is maybe one of the easier things to maybe for AI to do one day.
So all of the hopes, the hype, the valuations, the social benefit of this transformation you've just described is built on a central assumption that the technology functions, that it works. Let me propose one simple test of Gemini. Is it accurate always? Does it tell the truth?
look, we are working hard from a scientific standpoint to ground it in real-world information, right? And there are areas, part of what we've done with Gemini is we've brought the power of Google search. So it uses Google search as a tool to try and answer, to give answers more accurately. But there are moments, these AI models fundamentally have a technology by which they're predicting what's next, and they are prone to errors.
Yeah, you know some of the examples. There was an example of glue as a pizza ingredient, a sitting senator wrongly accused of assault. This is bad, isn't it?
Today, I think we take pride in the amount of work we put in to give as accurate information as possible, but the current state-of-the-art AI technology is prone to some errors.
Right.
This is why people also use Google search, and we have other products which are more grounded in providing accurate information, right? And so, but the same tools are helpful if you want to creatively write something.
Okay.
Right. So you have to learn to use these tools and for what they are good at.
Yeah.
And not blindly trust everything they say.
Okay, don't blindly trust. But let me suggest to you that you have a special responsibility because this whole model was invented here under you, and you know that it's a probability. And I just wonder if you accept the end result of all this fantastic investment is that information is less reliable.
I think if you only construct systems standalone, and you only rely on that, that would be true. Which is why I think we have to make the information ecosystem has to be much richer than just having AI technology being the sole product in it.
Sure, truth matters. Yeah.
Yeah, truth matters. Journalism matters. All of the surrounding things we have today matters, right? So if you're a student, you're talking to your teacher. If as a consumer you're going to a doctor. You want to trust your doctor. Yeah, all of that matters.
The scale of the AI build-out you've described so vividly is creating another trade-off, not just for you, but for humanity on energy. I think this is an opportunity to be frank, Mr. Pichai, with the world. Is there a new calculus now? Is the build-out of AI more important than climate?
So you're right. AI is dramatically increasing demand for energy in a way that the current systems can't fully cope up. But that is driving extraordinary investments in solar, in battery technology, in nuclear technology, and other sources. So I think, I am, as a technologist, I'm optimistic through this moment that we will have abundant sources of renewable energy in the future.
I mean, by the end of the decade, I think more energy will be used by data centers than the whole of India, 50% more than all of the EV fleet. You've sort of parked or dropped your 2030 sustainability net zero target? Is that...
No, we still have it.
Okay.
We publish progress reports against it. You are right. Some of the progress, the rate at which we were hoping to make progress, will be impacted.
Yeah.
Because we are seeing a much faster than expected growth in the underlying build out. But we are meeting the moment by investing in all these new technologies.
Okay.
And so I think that's how we are trying to make it work.
And so to bring it to the UK, where there is an ambition for net zero still by the government, but also to be an AI superpower, are those two things coherent?
They can be, because I think technology is an enabler here. We have done a one-of-a-kind agreement with Shell to power it. I think our UK operations will be at 95% carbon-free in 2026. So I think it's possible, but I think for every government, including the UK, I think it's important to figure out how to scale up infrastructure, including energy infrastructure. I think you don't want to constrain an economy based on energy, and I think that'll have consequences.
Would you consider higher levels of investment in the UK, perhaps training these state-of-the-art AI models in the UK if the conditions were right?
If we have a substantial number of employees in the UK, and we are developing state-of-the-art research work there, and our goal is to be able to both serve our models, over time train our models, all that. So we are committed to investing in the UK in a pretty significant way.
So countries like the UK might have a big decision to make about the speed of their climate plans if they want to win the AI race. Here in California, is one example of how this compute power is being used, training Google's generative AI service, Gemini, scraping entire libraries of documents, photos, and video information. The company developing this groundbreaking technology, DeepMind, was originally British and has won a Nobel Prize.
Hello, David.
Hi.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
In DeepMind's academic library, David, who runs Gemini, Google's version of this groundbreaking technology, explains.
It's very simple. You just enter the prompt that you want. You can upload a photo, or you can click this Create Image tab and choose one of the suggestions here. I feel like it's time to give you an 80s style makeover.
Oh no.
Let's give it a shot.
I'm more of a 90s guy, but okay, let's see.
So it's going to ask you to upload a selfie.
Yeah.
And I have one prepared.
No, someone's been supplying you.
And just click submit. It's very fast.
Okay.
So you're going to get this generation within 10 seconds. And right now it's analyzing the request, the prompt, and it's going through, okay, what would you look like in the 80s?
What would I look like?
Yeah, well, let's see. And it's generating, and here we go. 80s style makeover. What do you think?
That is quite, I may have well looked like that in the 80s, although a little bit younger with fewer grey hairs.
Let's try another one?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll create an image, and it's your own custom mini figurine. So let's see what we get here. Oh. And it's generating the image, and there we go. Here you go on the figurine.
That's terrifying. Yeah. God. Obviously, it's great fun, but there are some quite serious safety implications that you would want to make sure were addressed from, and presumably that's what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. One aspect that's large within responsibility is provenance. Is this AI generated?
Yeah. And
you can see here on the image, there's a visible watermark.
Yeah, okay, so that's
right there.
That thing over there.
And any image that comes out of the Gemini app, you will get that watermark. Same for video. However, as easy as it is to see that watermark and understand it, people can also crop it if you're a bad actor.
Yeah.
So we have another watermark, which is an invisible watermark, which is called SynthID. That watermark has been so far unbreakable. We've already given it to trusted testers, and we hope to release that to consumers.
Yeah.
So any consumer can upload an image and ask, is this AI generated or not? It's an important question, especially as we're getting better and better at realism.
Another key fuel for the AI boom is obviously the content that it's trained on. And that the tech companies, including Google, have relied on fair use. And have sort of scraped books, music, journalism, and are sort of selling back some of that expertise to the world. Do you accept that companies like Google will have to end up paying in some way for that?
Throughout, first of all, to step back, I think it is so important as we go through this that we both, help drive creativity and innovation. I think we are committed to copyright frameworks in all the countries we operate in. And we are, in the process of working with the industry to create newer frameworks as we move through it. And for example, in YouTube, we've always incorporated an approach to deliver value back to content rights holders. We will apply those same principles through this AI moment.
You have famous pop stars like Sir Elton John saying it's thievery on the high scale. If someone wants to use my song, ask, and have transparency in how it's used. Are you willing to do that?
Look, today we allow anything we train. People can choose whether their content is opted into that training or not. So we do give people that those rights.
Oh, I want to take you back to the beginning of this year, to that totemic kind of tech bro photo of Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk, and yourself in the seats of honor at the president's inauguration. You're already powerful. You have access to what is now the world's most powerful technological tool. It's getting more and more powerful. And now not being maybe counterbalanced by political power, but some would say joined at the hip. Can you see why that makes many people uncomfortable?
It is an extraordinary moment in terms of this AI technology. I think, it has tremendous opportunities to deliver benefits to the economy. It matters from a national security standpoint in the US. President Trump has been very clear in the importance of this technology and has articulated a clear AI action plan with multiple aspects to it to deliver benefits to the country. And not just us, the leading companies which are building this technology. I think it's important we are engaging with the government in a way that this technology is going to translate to deliver benefits for society, including thinking through concerns around potential misuse of the technology.
Okay, on a specific issue, what will the impact be of the White House's crackdown on foreign worker visas on your company and the sector? How do you feel personally as someone who arrived on an H-1B visa?
If you look at the history of technology development, the contribution of immigrants to the sector has been nothing but phenomenal, right? But I think the government understands it. I think there's a framework by which we all can still bring talented individuals. I think they're making changes to address some of the shortcomings in the current program, and I think we'll be able to continue investing.
Google had a reputation for caution and concern on AI safety and the risks to humanity, the existential risks that were talked about. Is that gone now, or parked, or downplayed? Is it full speed ahead, AGI and superintelligence?
Look, there is some tension between when technology is developing fast, how fast do you develop it, and how do you put in the work to make sure you're building mitigations against potential harmful effects. We encapsulated this tension. We call this, we want to be bold and responsible at the same time. So we are moving fast through this moment. I think our consumers are demanding it. People picking up a phone, they ask questions now. They ask much more complex questions.
Yeah.
And they expect us to use AI to be able to better answer that. Right? So we have to meet that moment. But for example, we are open sourcing technology which will allow you to detect whether an image is generated by AI.
Yeah.
So we are
which
we are investing in as well. So you will see us, we have increased our investment in AI security over the past couple of years, proportional to how much we are investing in AI development.
Okay. It's a very complicated area. And we take our cues from the experts who talk about this, some of your colleagues in the industry. Obviously the big Microsoft OpenAI deal has closed. I was struck looking at the history of that Elon Musk suggested he helped found OpenAI specifically because he feared Google owning DeepMind and what he called an AGI dictatorship. And what are we meant to think of that?
I think Elon is rightfully pointing out that, no one company should own a technology as powerful as AI. But I think if you look at the current state of the ecosystem, I think there are many, many companies. I would argue there are many companies, many frontier models. You have open source models coming in with China, right? So if anything, I think, you're right, you never want, if there was only one company which was building AI technology and everyone else had to use it, I would be concerned about that too. But we are so far from that scenario right now.
AGI means artificial general intelligence, a machine or computer that can match human intelligence or even surpass it. To power that kind of technological leap, Google might need an entirely different kind of computer. That's why the company's experimenting with quantum computing. This unproven and experimental technology can, in a matter of minutes, do calculations that would take a classical computer trillions of years, as long as our universe has existed.
It's an intricate piece of engineering.
Yes.
It's quite beautiful.
This is the Manhattan Project of our age, with big US tech competing with each other and China. Google thinks it's close.
In order for quantum computers to exhibit their quantum properties, we have to protect them from the environment. Which means we need somewhere that's very dark, very cold, very quiet for the quantum phenomena to come out.
Draw 0 here, draw 1 here.
Now, quantum theory is pretty complex, and I'm about to have a lesson.
Basically, one qubit can be in either in 0 or 1, or actually a superposition of all of these at the same time. In the classical case, it'd be either 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 1, or 0, 1, 0, etc. This is actually in all of these states simultaneously, whereas in the classical side, you kind of have to choose which configuration you're in.
Okay. And that's kind of quantum mechanics 101.
That's right.
I think I've got it.
Good.
I guess if it all goes wrong, your quantum computer will help us navigate to the multiverse or some other parallel universe. I mean, how's it going with this extraordinary and fairly difficult to understand technology?
The progress is so exciting. I would say quantum is there where maybe AI was 5 years ago. So I think in 5 years from now, we'll be going through, a very exciting phase in quantum, and we are investing with a view towards that. But as you know, nature, universe, all fundamentally is based on the principles of quantum mechanics, and building quantum systems, I think, will help us better simulate and understand nature and unlock many benefits for society.
And my sort of final question is, in the last time the BBC was here, a few years ago, you had already invented the core technology that would go on to become ChatGPT and Gemini. And at that time, no one had really heard of it outside of Google. And yet it's transformed the world quite clearly. Is there anything similar you've got buried away in the labs with the white coats now that we should know about?
Look, I mean, we are working on a range all the way from, our self-driving technologies making extraordinary progress, and it already showing safety benefits. And, I think scaling up the technology will avoid a lot of human fatalities, which I think and has a lot of societal benefits. I genuinely think what we call in this umbrella is AI. We didn't even talk about things like AlphaFold, which won the Nobel Prize, and which is helping. There are many, many biologists and chemists around the world using it to better discover new drugs.
Is this right? It did hundreds of millions of years of PhD research in a few months?
That's right. That's exactly right. It would take one PhD, their entire PhD, to do one protein. And we have done around 300 million proteins in a matter of few months, and we've made it openly available to everyone.
And that's done from London. People may not appreciate that in the UK.
It's done from Google DeepMind in London, and Demis Hassabis and John Jumper, who led the work, received the Nobel Prize in chemistry last year for it. But I think in some ways, we can take progress here for granted. We all used to talk about the Turing test. We've kind of gone past it, and no one talks about it. If I had told 5 years ago to people that if you go to San Francisco, there'll be many driverless cars driving around without anybody in the driver's seat, people wouldn't have believed it. It just happened.
Hang on, didn't they start honking at each other? Were they talking to each other? Were they communicating?
I hope not. I don't quite think so. But look, we are using AI to better understand how dolphins communicate, etc. And so I do think there'll be serendipitous moments like that. But it's exciting. And what is important is, as humans, we adapt to these technologies. The fact that, I recently had my dad in a Waymo car. He is over 80 years old. The wonder, I was in the back and he was in the front. Seeing him experience it, helped me understand the progress we all take for granted. And I think there are going to be many such wonderful things in the future.
Sundar Pichai, thank you very much for joining the BBC.
Thanks, Faisal. Real pleasure. I appreciate it.